everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting the all-new Wolf Scouts. That's what they're called, aren't they? Yes, the new Space Wolf kill team from the all-new Dead Silence kill team box set that Games Workshop very kindly sent me early to build up and paint with all of you, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. So we are going to waste no time, and we're going to jump straight in and we're going to start painting them. They've all been primed in grey Seer, and we're going to paint the 5 of the kill team first, and then we'll paint the wolf at the end. So I'm going to pop him to one side for now, and well, the colour we're going to be using first is a roughly 4 parts Space Wolves Grey to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. And we're going to be applying this over the top of all of our Space Wolves Grey power armour. Now what we will be doing is we will be avoiding the shoulder on the left side, this one just here, because that's going to be black, but we are going to still paint in the other one because, well, whilst we're going to do a pack marking over the top of it, it's easier just to start with the Space Wolves Grey. So we're going to start applying this, as always, taking it nice and methodically over one section at a time. I would recommend, obviously, as always, to have the box art open in front of you so that you know exactly where to go. But otherwise, have fun. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Tyran Blue. We're going to use this to shade all of our Space Wolves armour. So with that all done, we are now going to move on to the, well, a different colour, which is going to be some Black Legion. I'm going to be using this over the top of all of the kind of soft joints in the armour. Use it over the top of the casings of any pistols and guns. Again, as always, I recommend having that box art open in front of you, because we can do things like use this Black Legion over the top of the occasional bit of leather, for example, or something like this guy's hair. So with all of that Black Legion applied, we're now going to take some Cygor Brown, and we're going to apply this over top of almost all of our remaining leather. Now, there are the occasional extra little pouch hanging off a belt, for example, like this one over here, which we're not going to do with Cygor Brown, just to break it up a little bit. But otherwise, we're going to get this over top of almost all the leather on all the models. Next up, we're going to take some Snakebite Leather. I'm going to use this over the top of all of our remaining bits of leather, like this pouch. Next up, we're going to take some Frostheart. I'm going to apply this over the top of the plasma gun coils. And with that Frostheart all applied, we then take some Flesh Tearers Red, and we're going to apply this over top of all of the grips, all of the combat weapons, staves, like this one, and so on and so forth. So with that all done, I should point out we've actually applied the Frostheart over the top of this little, well, the little fang on the medic. We've also applied Cygor Brown over the top of his skin. But what we're going to do next is, and the reason it's pertinent, is we're going to be taking some Black Templar. And we're going to apply this over top of the blade. Just here. Like so. But the other thing we're going to do with the Black Templar is we're going to use this over top of any of the little hanging rune stones. Across all of our models. And with that all done, we're then going to take some Guilliman Flesh. And we're going to apply this over the top of the skin of our remaining 4 space walls. With that all done, we're then going to take some Gryph-Hound Orange and we're going to apply this over the top of this individual's beard. And with that all done, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over the top of this individual's hair, whiskers, and mustache. But what we'll also do is we're going to apply this over the top of the helmet of our medic. By helmet, I mean this stuff. With that all done, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. And we're going to apply this over top of any fangs, like that one there, and any skulls, like the one at the top of his staff. So next up, what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 colours, and we're actually going to not do this over this guy, but over the other 2. What we're going to, other 4 I should say, is over 2 of them we're going to use Black Templar, and over the other 2 we're going to use Ratling Grime, and this is for the fur on the sides of their packs. So we're going to start with some Ratling Grime on this guy. I'm going to just apply this like so. And then for the other 2, we're going to use some Black Templar. So with that all done to the other 4, what we're going to do for this guy is we're going to take 3 colours. We're going to take Skeleton Horde, Cygor Brown and Black Templar. And we're going to apply this over top of all of his fur, and this is going to include these sort of wolf tails that can be found other places. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the Skeleton Horde first, and we're going to apply this over top of the entirety of the fur. Just like that sort of thing. We do have the other half of it to do, but what we're going to do then is we're going to wash the brush, grab some Cygor Brown, and we're going to apply this over the top of the middle of the fur, like so. Wash the brush, grab some Black Templar, and then going down the middle of that, I'm going to add some Black Templar, just like that sort of thing. And if you need to, wash the brush, go back to some Skeleton Horde, and use this to just smooth out any transitions that you don't want in the fur, like that. So with that all done, it's now time to add some metallics. We're going to start off with some thinned down Iron Warriors, and we're going to apply this over top of, well, all of our mechanical areas, such as the bits on the guns and the backpacks and stuff like that. We're also going to be applying this over top of any blades, any chains, any grenades, and then next up we're going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to apply this over top of all the remaining details, and this is mostly going to be things like jewellery, trim, cross guards, pommels, that kind of thing. The huge. So with that all done, it's now time to add some shades. And we're going to start by taking some Nuln Oil, and we're going to use this to shade all the silver and all the black details, excluding the Black Templar stuff. We do need to shade that. With that all done, we're then going to take some Reikland Fleshshade and we're going to apply this over top of our Space Wolves skin, all 5 of them, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the Cygor Brown leather. With that all done, we then take some Seraphim Sepia and we're going to apply this over the top of the 2 largest skulls. So there's this one on the shoulder here and the one at the top of the staff. And for our final shade, we're going to take some Carroburg Crimson and we're going to apply this over the top of the gold and the red. So with those shades all applied, our Space Wolves are now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. However, we're not going to leave them there, of course not. No, we're going to take them to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some layers and some highlights. Now, the first of these is going to be some Russ Grey. It's going to be a layer over the top of all of the armour. And we're going to thin it down with sort of 4 or 5 parts water to make it nice and runny and thin. And we're basically just going to glaze this over the top of the blue. What this will do is it'll help you if you've got any kind of slightly blobby parts or coffee staining, scratches, that kind of thing. It'll also help you cover up any mistakes that you might have made throughout the painting. And if you haven't made any mistakes throughout the painting, it'll help you enrich the colour and just really kind of make it nice and impactful. So you're just going to apply this over the top of all of the flat open areas of the model. And then, once that's done, we'll come back. So with that all done, it seems a bit strange to do this now, but what we're going to do is we're going to put the pack markings in because it's actually quite a heavy pack marking. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some Black Legion and we're going to apply a little dot of the Black Legion round about there on the shoulder. I'm going to put one down here, one just to the right of the middle, one just to the left of the middle, and then one up around here, and then one just there next to the corner, like so. We're then going to join all these lines up. Like that sort of thing. Then what we're going to do, we're going to do a next series of dots going around. We're going to do one on that side of the corner of the shoulder, one just above that one. We're going to do one right in the middle, one up there, and then one just to the left of that corner, like so. And then we're going to join those lines up, and then we're going to block in everywhere that isn't between our 2 lines. So with that all done, we've done the same thing on the knee, on just a couple of them, on this guy and on the sort of pack leader. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take some thinned down Fenrisian Grey, and we're going to use this to highlight all of our Russ Grey. But what we're also going to do is we're going to use this to highlight the blade of the fang on this guy. With that Fenrisian Grey all applied, our next port of call is to take some thinned down blue horror. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to all of that armour. Just to the sharpest points. Around the model. So with all of the Space Wolves grey armour now finished, what we can do is move on. I'm going to move on to all the white details. I'm going to take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to highlight. So with that Corax White applied, we've also applied it over the top of the eyes of our Cygor. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little bit of Frostheart. I'm going to apply this over the top of his eyes. So with that Frostheart all applied, we then take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight the skin. With the Flayed One Flesh applied to the others, to this individual, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Night Quester flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight his face. With that Flayed One Flesh all applied, we then take some Black Legion. And we're going to apply this over top of their eyeballs, while excluding the Cygor. So with that Black Legion all applied, we're then going to take a tiny little dot of Screaming Skull. And we're going to apply this in the corners of the eyeballs. Just like that sort of thing. However, we're also going to use this Screaming Skull to highlight all the little bones and the fur on our Cygor. So with that all done, our next colour is going to be some thinned down Bloodreaver Flesh. And we're going to use this to highlight the Cygor Brown leather. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. And we're going to use this to highlight all of the black details. And this is also going to include our little stones. And stuff like that. So with all of that Dawnstone applied, we then take some thinned down Administratum Grey. And we use this to add just a couple of little spot highlights to the sharpest points in all those black details. So with that now done, we're going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. We're going to use this to highlight all of our silver details. And with that silver all highlighted, we're then going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all the gold. And with that Liberator Gold all applied, we're then going to finish off the Space Wolves by taking some Blood Angels Red. I'm going to apply this over top of all of our gems, lenses, and computer screens. So with our Space Marines now all done, we can pop them to one side, and we're now going to very quickly work on our wolf that comes with the set. And, well, hopefully we've already kind of done this once before, so it is going to be really very quick, except there's only going to be one slight change. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use 3 colours: Skeleton Horde, Cygor Brown, and Black Legion. And it's much like we did on our Psyker's Cloak. We're just going to start by taking some Skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this over the top of the entirety of the wolf. Just like that sort of thing. We'll do the rest of it in a bit, but what we're going to do is wash the brush, then grab some Cygor Brown. I'm going to apply this over the top of the wolf, coming down the snout, like this. Then wash the brush, grab some Black Legion, and then we're just going to apply this, going up a stripe down the middle. And if needs be, I'm going to wash the brush. I'm just going to come in here and just remove that over excess just there, and there as well around the eyes. Then I'm just going to grab some Skeleton Horde, and we can use this to move the colours around and smooth out any transitions, like so. So with that done across the entirety of the wolf, we're then going to dry brush our wolf with some Screaming Skull. And with that all done, it seems a bit strange to do this out of order, but it is the right way to do things. What we're going to do is we're going to take some Reikland Fleshshade, and we're going to apply this over the top of the whole thing. So with that now done, we can take some Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over top of the harness, the claws, and the eyeballs. And with that all done, we then take some Volupus Pink. And we're going to apply this over top of the teeth and gums. So with that all done, we then take a teensy tiny bit of Evil Sunz Scarlet. We're going to apply this over top of the wolf's eyes. And with that all done, we then take a little bit of Screaming Skull. We use this to pick out the teeth. With that all done, we then take some Ironbreaker. And we use this to pick out just a little... I guess it's like the collar. That's where the lead goes, I think. Just up here. Like that. And finally, to finish everything off, we're going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey. And use this to highlight all of our black details. And with those bases now complete in the same style as the rest of our Space Wolves that we've done here on the channel, our Wolf Scouts are now finished. They are a lovely addition to all of the lovely things that we've had for the Space Wolves in the recent months. And, well, maybe I'll have to finally get around to doing those Wolfguard Terminators sooner rather than later, because these guys need some bigger friends, as well as all the other bigger friends that we've done for the Space Wolves. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.